is not an abstraction here. It has become part of the daily weave of people's lives. Few would have thought this possible 25 years ago. The Good Friday Agreement enables us to make the most of people-to-people connections across this island, as well as between Ireland and the United Kingdom. Its three strands of relationships reflect the depth and interwoven nature of these engagements. And together, we all have so much potential. And we want to explore that all-island potential to its fullest. And that is why my government launched the Shared Island Initiative, so that we can make the most of these opportunities to cooperate to our collective benefit. Much has been achieved since 1998, but there remains a farther shore to reach. We must ensure that all communities and all traditions fully enjoy the benefits of peace and have the opportunity to live on a truly reconciled island. And as we take forward that work, Mr. President, we know that we do so with the full support of the United States. The engagement of the United States in the peace process gave us the Good Friday Agreement, an unwavering bipartisan commitment, a bipartisan commitment that you, above all, personified over the last 25 years, President, including through the creation and sustainability of the International Fund for Ireland. That support continues to open up horizons for us. As we build on the ambitions of the Good Friday Agreement to sustain a dynamic and prosperous peace, the United States will remain a central and fundamental partner. It is a privilege to welcome you here, Mr. President, to celebrate all that has been achieved and to look forward together to the shining possibilities of our future. Welcome home, Mr. President.
Well, it feels like home. I said last time I was here, in a sense, I know why my ancestors and many of your relatives left during the famine. And, you know, when you're here, you wonder why anyone ever want to leave. I mean it. So it's good to be back. And I want to thank another proud son of Louth, Prime Minister Martin, the guy behind me here. Now, I met him when he was the Taoiseach. And the bad news was we put him up in lovely quarters across from the White House, and he had COVID. So the fact that I'm here with my sister Valerie and my younger son Hunter Biden, stand up, guys. I'm proud of you. And I wish our mom, Catherine Eugenia Finnegan Biden, were here today. She'd be so damn proud. You know, Louth held such a special place in her heart, and it really did. And today we carry her home in our heart, for real. We think about her all the time. And coming here feels like coming home, and it really does. The way, every time I've come, the welcome, the people on the streets, they're just so gracious to us. And earlier today, I had a chance to visit another special place, Carlingford Castle. High in the hill, the castle that was likely one of the last glimpses that the Finnegan family saw when they set sail for America. And they set sail with courage and hope, and they crossed the sea. And through generations, the Finnegans brought this island home from Ireland to Scranton, Pennsylvania, where we were raised, where I was raised, I should say, and my mother lived. And matter of fact, I'm going to be heading to the other end side of the island, to Mayo, because my grandmother's maiden name was Blewett, and the Blewetts are from Mayo. And we brought over the mayor of Scranton because it's a sister city to Mayo. And but my grandpa Finnegan would also say, every time we talk about background and heritage, you go, remember, Joey, the best drop of blood in you is Irish. Well, y'all think I'm kidding. I'm not kidding.
Se ha caído la señal. Es que no me funciona. Estamos a la espera de que vuelva esa señal del presidente de Estados Unidos, de Joe Biden. Por el momento lo que tenemos es que se ha caído la señal y seguimos a la espera de recuperar esa conexión.
Bueno, muy buenas noches. Como bien saben, no funciona todo lo bien que querrían las cosas en la Casa Blanca tampoco, y menos si les llevan hasta Dundalk, en Irlanda. Por mucho que tenga ascendencia Joe Biden, pues se ve que no... Eso no te arregla la conexión wifi. El caso es que se les cae la señal, no nos llega tampoco a nosotros, y como pueden ver ahí, lo que van a hacer es poner un pequeño extracto, un resumen después. Así que desde aquí en Negocios Televisión paralizamos esto y les comentaremos en cuanto podamos lo que pueda ocurrir. Mire, parece que justo recuperamos la visión. Vamos a seguir con Joe Biden, seguimos con el presidente de los Estados Unidos, que ya les adelanto, que ha dicho con medio las señales, amigos, que para algo están. Vamos con él.
And he gave me the book. He said, I don't want to hear any more from you. But all kidding aside, the fact is that, my dad taught us a lot. And he used to, our dinner table was a place where you accidentally sat down to eat, but it was a place where we had discussions. And our dad worked like hell. And he'd come home from work and then go back. We'd have dinner at 6 o'clock. And it was a place, as I said, we had conversation and incidentally ate. And then he'd go back to work until 9 o'clock. But my dad had this he was really a fine man. And he talked about, his favorite word was that dignity. He said, everyone's entitled to be treated with dignity, Joey, and respect, no matter what. My father would no more walk by the shoe shine guy in the Hotel DuPont than he would walk by the chairman of the board who walked by it. That was our dad, and he meant it, everyone. These are the same values I've tried to pass down to my children, my son Hunter, my deceased son Bo, my daughter Ashley, that everyone is entitled to be treated with dignity, everybody. And they're the same values including my granddaughters. I have, the great thing about granddaughters is they're crazy about their grandfather. I've worked on it from the you think I'm joking, I worked on it from the very beginning. And my number 2 granddaughter, and when I walked in, she was being born and Hunt was there, and I had just been born. We walked into the recovery room, and I said, what are we going to name her? And he said, Finnegan. And I said, no, what are we going to name her? And because I thought Catherine Eugenia Finnegan Biden, they're going to name her. He said, no, Finnegan. I said, what are we going to call her? He said, Finnegan, Dad, Finnegan.
Me perdonen la intromisión, de momento yo voy de más que comentar nada. En esa especie de entorno familiar, hablando de sus antecedentes, hablando de, bueno, como le preguntaba a unos a otros de dónde eran los abuelos, y comentando en general los lazos familiares, anécdotas, en líneas generales de momento. Nada sobre arsenales, nada sobre armamentos, nada sobre paz, nada sobre, incluso, fíjate, esos acuerdos de paz de Belfast. Eso sí, dice que tiene nostalgia sobre el futuro y que él está orgulloso de tener esa sangre irlandesa. Vamos a tratar de escuchar ese final del propio Joe Biden, insisto, alabando esos lazos irlandeses, alabando Irlanda y esa esperanza verde.
And it's
Vamos a
hope
ver
to
también si habla de
continue this
cooperación
day.
y de
Nearly
acuerdos
45 years ago,
entre ambos países. De
some of
momento,
you may
insisto,
remember, none of you women are
hablando
old enough to know, but some of you
con
men
vaguedad de
may.
todo esto y
45
mucho más
years ago,
de
Pope
sus
John
lazos
Paul
y las
spoke
conexiones
down the
familiares.
road, quoting St. Patrick, and the Pope said, and I quote, "I have kept the faith, and it's been the ambition of the Irish down through the centuries to have kept the faith." I think that's what we are. We keep the faith. I'm not talking about religion per se. I'm talking about keeping the faith in who we are, what we believe, what our values are. And so my message to you today is quite simple. We have to continue to keep the faith. Every time I walk out, this is not a joke, walk out of my Grandpa Finnegan's house up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, he'd yell, "Joey, keep the faith." And then either my uncle or my grandmother would yell, "No, Joey, spread it, spread it." But all together, we have to keep working toward a future that's of greater dignity. And as we face darkness, and there is darkness we have to face, but we must keep marching forward because the world is a greater, it's just, the world has such possibilities. I was with Xi Jinping. I've spent more time with him than any world leader has over the last 10 years. And they keep meticulous count, as the former Taoiseach will know. And over now, 87 hours worth. And I was in the Tibetan Plateau with him. I traveled 17,000 miles with him in China over 10 years. And he asked me, he said, "Can you define America for me?" And I could say the same of Ireland. I said, "Yes, I can." I said, in one word, possibilities. We believe anything's possible.
Ojo que esta es muy buena.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
No la hemos visto venir. A Joe Biden hablando de lo que ya ha hablado tantas otras veces. Ahora se empieza a entender de todas formas esta reconversión.
Around the time Owen
Y
Finnegan boarded the
está plagiando
brothers
su propio
bound
discurso
for
una y
ship,
otra
the
vez.
brothers bound
Llega a
for
Irlanda
America.
en un entorno amigable, empieza a
Another
hablar de
shoemaker
Finnegan,
named
de
Joseph
incluso,
Kearney
del Papa,
from Monegal was maybe.
Lo cierto es que Joe Biden insiste una y otra vez en ese recuerdo que dice que tiene cuando le preguntaron para que definiera América en una sola palabra, y habla siempre de posibilidades. Una y otra vez Joe Biden haciendo mención a ese recuerdo, a esa forma de introducir, porque es en realidad lo que utiliza, esa manera de hablar, lo que hace es utilizarla para hablar del investing in America y para decir que él lo que está generando son posibilidades. En eso está, insisto, una y otra vez. Joe Biden, volvemos con el presidente estadounidense.
In all their dreams, I'm not sure they could have imagined that 175 years later, both their great-great-grandsons would be President of the United States of America, Barack Obama and Joe Biden. But that's what you breed here, just faith and the possibilities that are out there. You know, we come from, Valerie and I come from, not poor means, but modest means. We lived in a split-level home and the development of similar homes, of 75 homes. It was a nice neighborhood. And we had 3 bedrooms, 4 kids, and a grandpa living with us. And but it was home. I now look back and wonder how Mom and Dad did that. But the point is that, you know, we were taught anything's possible. Anything is possible. And so the fact is that I think possibilities are what we have to be focused on. And that's the power of faith. And that's the promise of hope. And so, as my mother would say, that's the Irish of it. That's the Irish of it. Whenever we say something was unusual, she said, "Joey, that's the Irish of it." And it is the Irish of it. I'm so proud to be here, so proud to be in Louth, so proud to be with, I don't want to ruin their reputation, but the Carneys are relatives. We take great faith. And the closing comment I make, you see this tie I have with the shamrock on it? This was given to me by one of these guys right here. Was a hell of a rugby player, and they beat the hell out of the black and tans. Oh, God, it was but it was when you were at a Soldier Field, wasn't it, the game? Chicago. And after it was all over, he gave my brother, allegedly for me, but if it wasn't, I still took it. I still got the tie. I wear it with great pride. And so thank you all for the homecoming welcome. The bad news for all of you is we'll be back. There's no way to keep us out, but thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you.
Bueno, pues hasta aquí esto que estábamos viviendo, esto que hemos visto de un Joe Biden con una puesta en escena, la más de curiosa, la verdad, en un bar, parecía patrocinado aquello, hablando de sus anécdotas, de sus lazos familiares, de lo que ha vivido, de los niños, de la querencia que tiene por cierta infancia irlandesa por su parte, y hablando también de, una vez más, las posibilidades que tiene América. Nada sobre acuerdos comerciales, no era el día quizás, nada sobre lo ocurrido en Ucrania, nada tampoco sobre esa petición que le ha hecho Volodymyr Zelensky a su secretaria del Tesoro, a Janet Yellen, a quien le ha vuelto a pedir dinero, y nada, evidentemente, de esas peticiones de Zelensky, que sigue exigiendo dinero, mientras, por cierto, siguen las filtraciones, como la de Seymour Hersh, hablando de que se han malversado, dice el premio Pulitzer, el periodista americano, de que se han malversado hasta 400 millones que en teoría Washington envió a Ucrania destinados a paliar el gasto de combustible. Con todo y con esto, cerramos esta transmisión, como siempre, agradeciéndoles su presencia al otro lado. Buenas noches.